We call this book Mallory and the Dream Horse because horse-crazy Mallory is just silly.
Argofunk Book Review, Argofunk Book Review.
This book was written by Gianna Beecham and Malcolm Hilgartner. They did 2 Mallory books in a row? They must have lost a bet or something. We start with Jessie and Mallory fantasizing about horses. Horses are so amazing, aren't they? They close their eyes, count to 10, and wish they could have horses of their own. When Mallory gets the mail that day, there's a brochure for horse riding lessons. Oh, wow! What an amazing coincidence. Mallory butters up her parents by doing chores, and she makes a fancy chart to show that horse riding lessons are a good idea. Something like this. As the number of lessons increases, the amount of time she has to spend with her family decreases. Her parents agree to let her take lessons as long as she pays half the cost. Hooray! Sadly, Jessie's parents don't let her go because they think she's too busy to take on any new activities. Aww. Why can't she give up babysitting for a while like Mallory did in her last book? In the subplot, Mallory babysits for the Marshalls. Nina Marshall just entered preschool. All the other kids make fun of her, and none of the adults can figure out why. Because apparently it's too much effort to actually listen to what the other kids are saying. Mallory quickly realizes the problem is Blanky, a giant blanket that Nina carries everywhere. Mallory tries to tell the parents what's wrong, but that would end the subplot in the first chapter, so instead, she gets distracted by the time and says nothing. In the other subplot, Mallory's siblings put on a big talent show. Mallory is out of place at riding lessons because all the other kids have fancy riding gear and experience with horses. Mallory falls in love with the horse riding instructor. I want to be just like her when I grow up. But then she falls in love with a white horse named Pax. She calls Jessie to gush over how great Pax is, but Jessie is distant and makes an excuse to leave. Mallory is too horse crazy to realize Jessie's mad at her. Jessie babysits Nina, and just like Mallory, it takes her less than 10 minutes to figure out that Nina's blanket is causing problems. These girls are amazing babysitters. Jessie decides not to tell Nina's parents about Blanky, because keeping parents uninformed is what good babysitters do. Mallory rides her dream horse, and it's amazing! She tries to make friends with the other kids in the class. She even gives one boy her phone number. Whew, I never thought I'd see the day where Mallory is better with boys than Claudia and Stacy. Sadly, it's all for nothing. Nobody talks to Mallory once the next week, not even Jessie. At her next lesson, Mallory gets thrown off a horse, and she starts crying like Marianne.
Tears rushed to my eyes and streamed down my cheeks. It was really embarrassing. I couldn't stop the tears. I tried to cover my face with my hands so the rest of the class couldn't see, but I knew they already had. Then my hands started shaking.
Mallory becomes terrified of horses after this, and her riding lessons become torture. The Pike kids practice their talent show, causing Stacy and Claudia to laugh and laugh and laugh. Ugh, Claudia, why are you spelling laugh wrong? Stacy just wrote it correctly. You can see it right there. Put some effort into your club entries, Claude. The rehearsal goes well, although Nina's blanket causes problems. Everybody in writing class is invited to a birthday party. Mallory goes, but again, she's completely out of place. Her clothes are all wrong, and whenever she tries to talk to someone, they immediately make an excuse to get away. Mallory is forced to hide by the food table and eat for 2 hours until the party ends. It's both depressing and delicious. Nina's problem is conveniently solved when her blanket is destroyed in the laundry. She's wild with anger until Dawn tells her that she can carry scraps of the blanket with her everywhere, and none of the other kids will know. Mallory has a breakdown at the next Babysitters Club meeting. She cries because she's scared of horses and because everybody in her class hates her. The girls comfort Mallory, and Jessie apologizes for being so mean. She was avoiding Mallory because she was jealous of her. Not the other kids, though. They avoided Mallory because they don't like her. The class ends with a riding show. Mallory rides on her dream horse in front of everyone, and she does tolerably well, coming in 6 out of 12. Everyone congratulates her, and she tells her parents that she wants to quit riding lessons. even though that means she'll never see her dream horse again. Oh, and the last chapter is the Pike's talent show, which is basically the same as the rehearsal they had earlier. Okay, thanks, bye. The end. Post-book follow-up. I like the subplots in this book. The talent show was funny and cute. It was mixed well with the Nina Marshall storyline. I like that subplot too, although I thought it was a little silly how 3 babysitters figured out Nina's problem in under 10 minutes, while Nina's parents try for weeks without learning the truth. The Jessie Mallory subplot was also good, as was the Mallory tries to fit in with rich kids and fails subplot. There are lots of subplots in this book, and they're all well balanced. The main plot is Mallory taking riding lessons and falling in love with a horse. That was probably the weakest storyline, to be honest. Unless you're horse crazy, you probably don't care to see her talk about the horse's lovely personality, elegant body, and large nostrils. Yeah, she compliments the nostrils, it's weird. I skimmed most of the horse stuff myself. Overall, it's an okay book, which perfectly falls into the young girls like horse book stereotype. It's got enough non-horse stuff to keep other readers interested, and there's plenty of moments where Mallory is a humongous dork. I give Babysitters Club number 54, Mallory and the Dream Horse, a 7 out of 10.